All right, good evening. It is Thursday, October 28th. I'm gonna run over 5 W's. Start with just one for night though. Who am I? The who of the who, what, when, where, why. I've been doing these videos so far, just sort of like a behind the scenes, more of like a journal really. And that's not very helpful, I guess. So anyway, and I realized that, I've never really talked about who I actually am. Why am I posting on YouTube? That kind of stuff. So what qualifies me to run a nonprofit in the first place is kind of where I figured I should start. So I'm the president of the board chairman of the nonprofit 501c3, the Bunker Project, that provides student housing to military veterans. Right now we're in the pilot project phase. We have one house in Las Vegas that we're using as our pilot project to sort of work out the kinks before we start expanding to other cities. I lived in that house myself, did a live and flip, bought it with my VA loan, now transitioned that VA loan over to a conventional loan. I've moved out. It's all veterans living there now. I think they're all students, maybe not all attending school yet, but at least like enrolled and about to begin soon. So that's kind of where that house is at. And that house, the crux of the program, basically that we keep the rent super low as possible by house hacking. So one person lives in the property as property manager. That keeps us from having to hire any employees, keeps expenses down that way. By having that one person living there, they get free rent, makes it so they can stay focused on school. They oversee the other 4 veterans in the house, so it's a 5-bedroom house. Each bedroom is full. I don't double up rooms, nothing like that. Try to make it as comfortable a living situation as possible. So, and then in addition to meeting the basic housing need, that way we additionally bring in somebody from an outside organization once a month during our house meeting to do a presentation about whatever it is they have to offer that might be beyond simply affordable housing. So what qualifies me to do this, to run this thing, other than being voluntold by a Vietnam veteran while I was interning for the nonprofit several years ago. So I'll just kind of run through the academic achievements here. Master's degree in criminal justice from University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Coincidentally, the house is located just outside campus, so there's that. Then we've got a bachelor's degree from Western Oregon University. That is where I met my mentor, the Vietnam veteran, who sort of voluntold me to take over the Bunker Project as president when I was graduating from there. I said it would help me get into graduate school, which I suppose it did. But I didn't want to just use it as a line on a resume. I wanted to actually, make it do something. We've had quite a few suicides from my old unit. I've had a little bit of my own slump. So that's another thing that I think qualifies me, is that I have been there where these people have been. I've gone through the college process all the way through a master's degree, and now I am just about done with a PhD in sociology. Don't have that degree to wave out yet. And so here's another personal side. So this is from a mental institution in 2009, a hospital that I was admitted to. That was kind of my lowest point in my life in 2009. And that's when I got first access to any sort of treatment, I guess, following my time in Iraq. And I would say if anybody's ever gone to Iraq, fought in war, you're probably gonna need some sort of treatment, some sort of counseling. You're gonna need to talk to somebody about something. Even if it's not officially counseling, at least a clergyman, your spouse, gonna have to eventually get that stuff off your chest. So that point for me came in 2009. So that's kind of where I'm able to sort of connect with the downward side, or the opposite side of veteran issues, I guess, that, hey, I've been there myself. I've been down in that low slump, but I've also gone all the way up to get a graduate degree, founded a couple businesses, running this nonprofit. So that's kind of what my hope is with these videos also, is that I can maybe be some sort of example to other veterans, maybe that just because you've had just because you've hit rock bottom, essentially, doesn't mean you have to stay there, right? So following that time in 2009, I did the bachelor's degree. That was in the same area by that hospital. And so doing my bachelor's degree, finishing up my bachelor's was sort of part of the treatment for me, was getting back connected socially to society, to other people. And college was a big part of that. Just forcing you to be around other people, forces you to interact with other people. And human connectedness is really what we need as people. And what I think is driving a lot of suicides and all of the negative kind of stuff in that realm with veterans. So my focus is on school for the nonprofit then. And that follows along with my research for my graduate degrees through the bachelor's degree. So the bachelor's degree was in public policy and administration. So I learned about program review, things like that, how to evaluate government programs, all those kind of things. And found that housing was a niche, I guess, that hasn't been filled or was kind of lacking. There's a lot of reactionary programs, but not a lot of prevention. So this was sort of my way of, hey, trying to fill a gap without repeating what other people are already doing, without stepping on any toes, and trying to do it in a way where we can minimize the amount of fundraising that we need to do, which allows those other organizations to maximize their fundraising, right? So part of that, I presented the bunker project, well, Dr. Brown, when I was interning for it, to Western Oregon University. And we told them about this idea that we wanted to have a resource center where veterans could sort of connect with each other and learn about college, learn about their GI Bill, how to utilize it, stuff like that. Start doing some online classes, maybe some hybrid site classes, where you only go to campus maybe one day a week or something. Anyway, sort of a gradual step into college process was the idea there. Just saying that, hey, there's kind of a lack of support for military veterans on campus. And well, around that time, veteran resource centers were starting to sort of pop up around and become a buzzword around colleges. Just around the same time that we had this nonprofit idea, and my focus was on school because it helped me so much in my life, because I had seen it in the research. So they hired me. So I was veterans coordinator, Western Oregon University. Helped them set up their very first veteran resource center. It's still there to this day. Their student veteran club. I don't remember what it's called. Just the Woo Vets, I guess. Anyway, they took #1 in the nation a few years ago. I can't take credit for that because I wasn't there at that time. But if I hadn't set up the resource center, if we hadn't, sponsored the club, so like you have to have a faculty advisor to sponsor the club. So I was that person that sponsored the club to first get it off the ground, that kind of thing. It wouldn't be there today, right? Or someone else would have had to pick up the reins anyway. So there's that. So I worked in a college, learned about some issues there, and then finally my military background. Oh, I guess I can go to one more. This is the associate's degree. So I started college here, Orange Coast College. It's a community college in California. Associates, I don't even think it counts for anything. I mean, most of my classes were in psychology. It just says Associate of Arts, doesn't even say any sort of degree. Anyway, this is sort of what I think qualifies me the most. So if you've ever been in the military, this is our resume. We wear our resume on our chest. So when you check into a new unit, this is sort of what tells everyone who you are, where you've been, what you've done, that kind of stuff. So don't think I'm going to go through and explain too much about this. These medals, just hold them up here and let the military veterans themselves decide whether I am worthy or not to run a nonprofit. So we're at 10 minutes. I'm trying to keep these videos a little shorter. So I'm going to end it here. And the next one, I'll try to move on to the next, what is the bunker project? Ran into a little bit of that today. I'm kind of guilty of ranting. So I will do better with my preparation instead of just dumping on the camera like this. But trying to get a little better. So thank you for following me so far. That's about it, I think, as far as the bunker project. And one of the reasons I haven't posted recently, if you follow me on my personal Facebook page, you know that my uncle passed away recently. It was quite sudden, quite unexpected. He was helping my grandfather move down here to Arizona, and for whatever reason, just had a stroke once he got down here. And that stroke was bad enough that he didn't survive. And we decided to use my house as the place for hospice care. So I was doing some hospice care, and then some cleanup after that, after he passed away. And that took a pretty good emotional toll, more so than I was expecting. You know, I thought it would be easier to process that than it was. So I took a few days to myself to just kind of clean up my house and I don't know, take a moment before I got back on here on posting. So anyway, Sergeant Steve Rogers was his name. He served in the Army. My family will be donating his musical equipment. So he was a musician, played in a band, and played bass, played a whole bunch of different instruments really, but bass was his primary passion. And so anyway, so we'll be donating those musical instruments and auctioning them off, I guess, and making whatever proceeds come from that a donation to the bunker project. And probably going to either name a room or scholarship or just name something in honor of Sergeant Steve Rogers. You know, so that's about it with my personal life. So, all right, take care. Good night.